Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. We will continue with the second part of the 7-part series on life and works of Shri VAdirAja. Yesterday, in the first part, what we saw was the illustrious background to who a guru is, the role of a guru in our lives, who is a guru, who is not a guru, the importance of gnana, and gnana as the only source of happiness, and Yathartha Gnana or Tattva Gnana or spiritual knowledge as the source of eternal happiness in all our minds. And how Shri VAdirAja is an example of a great guru who actually bestowed the knowledge about God in the Madhva tradition. We also saw how Shri VAdirAja was a guru in the complete sense. It is very rare to find people of that stature who've commented on virtually every aspect of Indian scriptures. Be it the Brahma Sutras, be it the Puranas, be it the Vedas, be it the Upanishads, or compositions including those in Kannada and Tulu. So he is a guru of the highest order, a guru who is complete in all respects and who had only one objective, which was to elevate the people through spiritual knowledge about God and Lord Narayana. So looking at this, let us continue with some of the most interesting aspects of his life. They say that when it is about to be early in the morning, it's early in the morning, and slowly the sun rises. For those of us who have seen that a sunrise will be testimony to the fact that when it's absolutely dark, the sun is not there at all. But in a few moments after the sunrise, or just when the sun is just beginning to rise, it starts to become bright, and within a few moments the whole sky is as bright and the sun is shining on us. The same goes for the lives of great people. So why should we know about their lives? Because they light up our lives much before they're even the birth that happens. So why should we know about their life? We should know about their life, and that's why biographies are written. Because these biographies and texts serve as our guidelines. They are our role models. And biographies are only written for people who can stand up to the rest of the society as role models. So in the Indian scriptures, there is a concept of darshana and nidarshana. Darshana is spiritual knowledge or scriptures. Nidarshana is an example or illustration of that. So the lives of great people like the life of Shri VAdirAja is truly illustrious because we understand how they overcame challenges. How did they set a purpose to their life? How did they lead their life? And how did they take the entire society along with them in their spiritual path? Not only during their lifetime, but several centuries, not decades, several centuries after they leave their mortally bodies. So Shri VAdirAja was born in the year 1480. And there's a very interesting story that accompanies his birth. His parents, Shri Ramacharya and Gauri Devi, hailed from a place called Kumbashi, which is near Udupi. And they were frequent visitors to the Kumbashi Mutt. The Kumbashi Mutt is today known as Shri Sode VAdirAja Mutt, but at its inception by Shri Madhvacharya, who founded 8 mutts in Udupi, one of them was actually known as the Kumbashi Mutt. Shri Theertha was the presiding pontiff or the Peethadipati at that time. The couple, Shri Ramacharya and Gauri Devi, did not have children for many years. So they went to Shri Theertha and prayed to him to bestow them with a child. Shri Theertha with his divine vision, could see what was coming. So he granted them the boon, saying that yes, you will get a son, but you will have to give that or donate the child or give the child for adoption by the mutt. So the mutt will bring up the child and he will become a Pitadipati. So it was a very unique dilemma for the couple, because on one hand they were very happy that they are going to get a child with a full trust in the Guru Sri Vagisha Tirtharu, but at the same time they felt that if the child is, after a few years, if they have to give the child to the mutt and to be brought up as a sannyasi, it's not going to be an easy decision for them. So to make things smoother for them at that point in time, Sri Vagisha Tirtharu set forth a rule, which he said that if the child is born inside the house, the child will remain with you and you would bring him up. But if the child is born outside the house, then the child will belong to the mutt and will be my successor, or Sri Vagisha Tirtha's successor. So with this, the couple felt a little better. They said yes, it looks like we can still retain the child by ensuring that Gauri Devi, the mother, after she was pregnant, would not move outside the house at all. So very soon, Gauri Devi was pregnant with the child, and she was instructed by her husband and everyone to stay inside the house and come what may, should not go and leave the house at all. But God had other designs. On the day, on a very auspicious day of Magha Dwadashi, it was a day after the Ekadashi, which meant that would be the day on which the traditional Brahmins who practiced complete fasting on the day of Ekadashi, the day before, would actually break the fast by accepting parana or having their meal early in the morning. That situation came up, and Ramacharya was having his Dwadashi parana, and Gauri Devi was seated inside the house and was overlooking the fields that were in front of her. The house is called Gauri Gadde even today. It's also known as Huvinakere, a little away from the Kumbashi Ganapati temple, and it's in the middle of a field. And what happened at that time was a cow entered that field and started to graze on the different things that were grown in the field. And in sheer instinct, as an instinctive reaction, Gauri Devi just stepped out of the house and to shoo away the cow, which the Shastra does not permit. The Shastra clearly says that if a cow were to enter your house and eat stuff that belongs to you, you should not be shooing it away. On the contrary, you should feed the cow. But that was an instinctive reaction, and above all, it was God's will which got Gauri Devi to come outside the house and to shoo away the cow. The moment she came out, she was at that time, she had completed 9 months of her pregnancy, and within a few moments of that, she delivered the child in the fields itself. Now Sri Vagisha Tirtharu knew that this would happen through his divine vision. He had sent across a group of women with a gold plate on which the child would actually be rested immediately after the delivery. So Vagisha Tirtharu knew that this is going to be the day on which the child will be born, and it will be under these circumstances the child will be born. So the child indeed was born outside the house. And why the silver plate? The silver plate is significant. The birth of the child and it being put in the golden plate immediately after that signifies that the child does not do bhusparsha or contacting the earth The earth, therefore, is a symbol of earthly pleasures, and someone who is above that or above Bhusparsha means that that person indeed is very, very divine in every aspect. The child was born outside the house. Ramacharya, who was very much inside the house, so close to the place that he was actually having his meals, could do nothing and fully accepted the happenings as a hand of God or the blessings of God and the Guru himself. So was the unique event in which Sri VAdirAja was born. The child was named as Bhuvaraha. Why Bhuvaraha? Probably because the couple owed their allegiance to Kumbashi Mutt, and as I said before, Madhvacharya founded the 8 mutts in Udupi and had gifted each mutt with an idol of Lord Narayana, and the idol that he gave to Kumbashi Mutt was Bhuvaraha Swami, the idol of Varaha Devaru with Bhudevi along with it. It is a single idol. The idol can still be found, and it is everyday prayers are offered to it by the current Peethadipati of Sundar Mutt. That was the birth of Bhuvaraha. The child grew up, and as was promised, at the very tender age of 5, his parents performed the Upanayana, or the thread ceremony, or the ceremony of wearing the sacred thread in Brahminical houses. Which also meant one more thing, that after the Upanayana was done, the child actually goes to the mutt to start his Vedic studies. And that was the beginning of one of the most illustrious journeys of one of the greatest philosophers of our times, Sri VAdirAja. And from then on, everything that happened from that moment was unique, was divine, and meant to be a role model for the society, not just then, but several centuries later. Sri VAdirAja lived 120 long years, by itself a great record, out of which 112 years was spent as a sannyasi. So this, as I said, is the second of the 7-part series on life, leadership and works of Sri VAdirAja. We will continue this series tomorrow as well, looking at other aspects of Sri VAdirAja and his life. And in the course of these series, we will also look at certain specific texts, granthas of his, the works of his. Sanskrit philosophy has seen many illustrious philosophers. It has seen many poets, but it has never seen someone as unique as Sri VAdirAja, who combines his poetic skills in the area of scriptures and making every reading so very interesting. One does not have to read the entire shloka to see whether that was written by Sri VAdirAja or not. Even reading 1/4 of a shloka as the shloka pada will be making it very clear that it is indeed a creation or works of Sri VAdirAja. The use of humor, the use of sarcasm, the use of poetry, the use of comparisons and use of exclamations are unparalleled in the works of Sri VAdirAja. Like I was saying yesterday, some people live their life as though it is an explanation, but some people live their lives as though it's an exclamation. And Sri VAdirAja belongs to the second category. So once again, I'm very delighted to be a part of the Lakshmi Shobhane recitation, which is a global online event that is happening. We are on day 2 of that event, and I pray to everyone that we continue in our spiritual path under the guidance of Sri Swamiji of Sodemat, Sri Vishwavallabha Theertha Swamiji, and his illustrious set of advisors and volunteers. Thank you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.